Chào cô, cho con một bánh quả.
Hả? Bánh hở?
Dạ, bánh quảng, bánh quảng.
Yep, that happens. A lot, actually. If you think this only happens to foreigners, you're dead wrong. It happens to native Vietnamese people too. Even I've been there. Like this.
Vậy là dạo này mọi thứ không suôn sẻ hả?
Bởi thế nên mong tuyển kiểu sao cho...
Hả? Mong?
Đúng rồi. Mong mấy ngày sau này bớt căng đi một xíu, thư giãn một xíu cho đỡ mệt.
Là mấy ngày nay cái mông của Tuyền nó bị căng cơ, xong muốn nó giãn ra cho bớt mệt hả?
Không, no.
You see, Thuyen is from the south of Vietnam, but she still completely confused me. One minute we're talking about life and her wanting to settle down, and the next minute we're talking about butts? What on earth? Okay, my bad. I haven't even introduced myself yet. You can call me by Lucas. My real name is... And I was born, raised in Vietnam, lived here for about 22 years now. The thing is, I see so many foreigners and tourists come to town, and they really struggle to understand our language. To be honest, it's hard for me too. Getting an A in literature back in high school was literally impossible. But today, we're talking about my mother tongue. I'll show you why Vietnamese is so tough, and give you some guidance to get through it. Also, the most important thing when learning a language is to not push yourself too hard. You've got to be comfortable and enjoy the process. When you do that, your brain just absorbs it passively. You'll get better without even realizing it. So, let's get into it. First, let's look at this right here. The 6 tones. I mean, what even is this? Especially these two. And Can you even hear the difference? Yeah, one word. But 6 tones? It's just total chaos on your screen right now, right? For example, la, it means yell. If we add 5 different tones to it, it turns into la, meaning is, are. La, meaning leaf. La, meaning exhausted. La, meaning plain. And finally, la, meaning strange. I mean, if I try to make a sentence using all of them, it sounds like this.
Con la đói là, đi qua đống lá lạ, là vì uống nước lã mà không chịu la.
And if I tried teaching someone this sentence on their first day, I'm pretty sure they'd give up without a second thought. So, how to handle this one? Honestly, there's no magic trick. No master Vietnamese tones in 3 days hack or anything like that. The most important thing is you don't need to get all 6 perfectly on day 1. Your ear is smarter than you think. It just needs reps. Right now, la and la probably sound identical to you. But give it a few weeks of actually listening, and they'll start sounding as different as ship and sheep in English. Which, by the way, also confuses non-native speakers constantly. So, you know, fair's fair. Oh, and here's the other thing. Most of the time, context saves the day. If I'm literally holding a leaf and I say la instead of la, you're not going to think I just called the leaf strange. You're going to think he probably means leaf since he's holding one. Vietnamese people are used to filling in the blanks too, most of the time. Secondly, a difference of just one single letter, one tiny tweak, can completely flip the meaning into something... Well, let's take the word đích. It means target or goal, like in mục đích, purpose, totally normal word. Now, swap just that one ch for a t, and you get đích, which means but, by the way. Do you hear the difference? Yeah, purpose and but sound almost identical in Vietnamese, especially in the South. Before you go, okay, that's just a foreigner thing. Nope. A lot of native speakers, including like half the people I grew up around, don't fully separate ch endings from t endings when they talk. So even Vietnamese people mix these up in writing all the time. So imagine someone writes a nice motivational quote.
Hãy luôn hướng về đích.
Always head toward your goal. One pronunciation mistake and it becomes
Hãy luôn hướng về đích.
always head toward a but. There's a whole category of these. Words where one sound separates completely normal from I cannot believe you just said that in front of my grandma. Like
Móng,
which means claw or hoof, versus
mông,
which means butt again. I don't know why butt keeps showing up, but it does. So if you're trying to talk to people about your nails, try not to confuse them with,
Em mới duỗi thẳng cái mông hôm qua.
I just straightened my butt yesterday. Okay, we're getting a little off topic here. What I'm trying to say is, how to avoid turning goal into butt. I think the fix isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. Once you know these danger pairs exist, your brain starts flagging them on its own. The trick is, don't learn these words one at a time. Learn them in pairs.
Đích
And
đích, móng
and
mông.
say them back to back slowly and really exaggerate the difference. Your mouth needs to feel the difference before your ear can catch it. I'll put a list of all these pairs in the comments. Also, don't overthink it too much. Worst case scenario, you say dit in a sentence where but makes 0 sense. People will laugh, sure, but they'll also know what you actually meant. Like I said, even Vietnamese people mix these up sometimes, remember? Finally, here's the most interesting part. Even though native speakers struggle with the two things I just mentioned, the rest of the language is actually much easier. But man, it took a lot of patience just to make this video this long. So in the next video, I'll prove to you that the Vietnamese language is actually way easier to learn than English. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking around till the end. See you next time, maybe?